Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, and today it's Invisible Woman time. This is our second video of today, our first video I'm pretty proud of. If you haven't checked it out, it's about Mole Man, who is way better than he seems. But how about Invisible Woman? What is she, and how good is she? She is a 3/5 Series 5 card. She is Activate. This turn, your end of turn abilities happen twice. Sooner or later, this is going to be utterly and completely broken. Is it utterly and completely broken now? I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure. I think it's probably pretty good, bordering on great. We're going to have to see how much power we can generate from it before we really decide. As usual with all of this type of ability, we do a lot of like, oh my god, all the combos thoughts. What makes these good or bad is, generally speaking, does it put up points? Fantasticar ended up way better, way better than we anticipated. You know why? Because you guessed it, puts up points. So that's what we're trying to do with this card. We're trying to use it to put up as many points as possible. It can combo off and help us win games. So this is the card that pulls the end of the turn deck together, whether that exists right this minute or somewhere down the line. This is the deck for that. It may need more pieces after the season, but this is going to be a strong seed. It can go on Surfer and several other decks right now. Let's actually talk about the end of turn card jar because it's really hard to talk about her without those. So our end of turn cards right now are Adam Warlock. She could be a second draw with Adam Warlock, but I don't think we want to run Adam Warlock. A second Destroy with Atuma has some use, but again, probably not where we want to be. Second Black Cat, well, that's literally nothing. A second chance at triggering Bruce is actually reasonably good. That seems like it fits in some high evolutionary stuff, but we're going to talk about a problem with that type of deck as we go forward. Doom 2099 is great. Getting a second Doom 2099 trigger, getting an extra Doombot seems like an extremely powerful thing to do. That helps make up for the lost power of the Doombots way back when. Isan is fine. You're not really pulling extra cards with him. Who cares? Havoc as an extra 4 power. Now we're starting to cook, right? So the Doom deck, if we can get enough end of turns for the Doom deck, that could be good. But Havoc alone, getting an extra 4 power, it seems very strong. Hydra Bob does nothing. Makari does nothing. Marvel Boy is an extra 3 power. That again seems pretty good. So we've got potential 4 from Havoc and 3 from Marvel Boy. Red Hulk can get an extra, whatever, who cares? It doesn't matter. Strain Supreme can eat an extra card that could have value in a Thanos deck. Again, I tend not to really care. I don't think that's where we want to be. Sunspot seems great if we can figure out the right deck. I'm not sure we can, but if we can figure out a She-Hulk thing to do with Sunspot, where Sunspot's going to absorb 5 energy on turn 5, and then absorb that 5 energy again, getting plus 10 power, that seems like it could be worth it. Ross to draw 2 10 drops, fine, but whatever. Thena for an extra 3. So the power cards thus far: Doom, Havoc, Thena, and Sunspot. Everything, and Marvel Boy. Everything else has been meh. Mr. Fantastic is fine. We probably want to trigger our activate at the end of the game, so he's not doing anything. The Thing in Human Torch we have to see. I'm pretty sure they're not going to be able to double their end of game effects, even if the location is full. So if that's not the case, then all of a sudden this is significantly worse for them. 2 power for Thing is nice. An extra 1 power for Torch is sort of whatever. Evolved Misty is fine. An extra 1 power. Evolved Cyclops is decent. That's an extra 2. And Evolved Hulk is pretty good. So there is some real value here to this card. It can put up some real points. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Before we find out, if you'd like to win a free Mr. Fantastic first steps, all you have to do is sub, like, and comment. I will announce a winner within the next little bit of Mr. Fantastic. Sub, like, and comment to be entered to win the current season pass card, who is in fact the best card in Marvel Snap. Next up, we've got Safety Blade's deck. He calls this younger model, the model of the Fantastic Car, in which we are trying to do a bunch of end of turn stuff. He had Makari in that Invisible Woman spot. That is a perfectly fine place to be. Why are we running Invisible Woman in this deck? Well, first, let's make sure you can actually play this deck by talking about some replacements. First, if you want to watch Safety, check out twitch.tv/SafetyBlade. This deck needs Thena, Fantasticar, Thing, and Mr. Fantastic. It's a very this season heavy deck. Thena is obviously absolutely great. Human Torch here can be Makari. Hydra Bob and Surge can be Merlin, Mercury, Angela. Again, the more end of turn cards you cut, the worse, but then Surge is just here because you really do want the energy. Cannonball can be Thing. Cannonball cannot be Thing. That's a totally different deck. Cannonball can be Shang. Apparently, the sounds broke my brain for a moment there. And remember, Invisible was Makari, and this deck was perfectly fine prior. So, what are we trying to do with Invisible Woman in this list? We can get an extra 2 power on Thing, an extra 4 power on Havoc, an extra 3 power on Thena, an extra 1 power on Torch. Odds are our goal is to end up with Havoc and Athena out, right? That's +7 power. That makes her play as a 3/12. Is a 3/12 worth running? Generally speaking, in Marvel Snap, yes. Let's say we don't get both Athena and Havoc, though. So now, let's say we get Athena, the lower 3, Athena and Torch, right? Athena and Torch. We've got, now we're getting a +4. 3/9? Would we play a 3/9? Yes, I think we'd play a 3/9. Okay, so I think we're sort of in here, right? This is a deck that's starting to make sense for us. We can also get Athena in. We can do lots of different combinations along these lines. I'm not going to go through every one, but almost all of them end up making some level of sense and giving us a bunch of extra power. So I do like that. Also, because Havoc and Athena are earlier plays, you can trigger Invisible Woman a time or two on turn 5 and end up with a lot of extra power that way. So let's go through the other cards in the deck quickly. Kitty Pryde is here to trigger Hope and trigger Athena. That's Hydra Bob is an extra 1-drop for Athena. It's also an end of turn card, so it can be a 1/6 for Fantasticar. If you've ever played Demon, you know how good that is. Havoc is actually really hard to play here without Hope Summers or Surge or Mr. Fantastic helping. You would like to play Havoc on turn 5, but even if you play it on turn 6, if you are triggering Invisible Woman on turn 6, you are playing a 2/8. If you're triggering Invisible Woman and Fantasticar, you are playing a 2/10. Yeah, we take that. Athena gets really big really fast. She's a nice scaler. She works with Fantastic or Invisible Woman. Mr. Fantastic is the best card in the game and generally helps. We want extra energy pretty badly here. Surge, same basic concept. And then we have Human Torch, who gets reasonably big. Human Torch cares a lot more about Fantastic card than Invisible Woman, but hey, you're still happy to have that big power card. Hope Summers gives us the extra energy we need. It goes with Fantastic and Surge in the exact same way. We have to be a little careful here, right? So if we want to play 2 cards a turn, we can't on turn 3, right? So we're gonna have to go like Athena on 2 and then Hope on 3, or sorry, Torch on 3, and then we can go Invisible Woman and Kitty on 4, and Fantasticar and 1 on 5, and Thing and 1 on 6, and now it's really hard to fill locations and get value for those extra 1-drops. That's my worry. It's that she's a 3/5, while Human Torch is a 3/2, and Hope Summers is a 3/4, and we have to, because she's an activate, she can't be played on the last turn, while Fantasticar as an activate also can't be played on the last turn, and that makes them sort of run into each other in a way that I am genuinely worried about. I think that there's probably enough power to overcome that limitation, but I do think that limitation is very, very real. Turn 1, Kitty over Bob. Turn 2, Fantastic over Surge over Athena. Turn 3, Athena +1 over Torch equals Hope. Turn 4, we're going Torch or Hope +1 over Fantasticar. If we went Hope +1, we can now go Fantasticar and Havoc, and we've just probably won the damn game. Then we're going to go Thing or Cannonball +1 on turn 6. If you are so inclined, Surge can very easily be Mercury. We can also probably, honestly, I know this is crazy, make Human Torch for steps into Mercury if we want to get some extra value off Cannonball. This deck is probably going to be the best with it. This deck has been waiting all season for Invisible Woman. She's here. This should be a meta deck fundamentally immediately. Obviously, weak to Shadow King, but the caveat is it still gains enough power after that to get pretty tall, because Shadow King will happen, right? If you can throw power, Shadow King will happen, then Havoc will gain power, Athena will gain power, Invisible Woman will double the power they gain. So, you should be pretty okay here. Before we go any further, if you're willing to hit that sub button, it would mean a lot to us as we bring you 7 days a week of Marvel Snap videos. This is our second video today. We cover Marvel Snap extraordinarily thoroughly, and if you want the best decks every single day, keep it here. Next up, we got even more Doombots. More Doombots played a really, really cool version of a Doom 2099 list that became the meta list with a decently high win rate. I went and added Invisible Woman. I made a cut for Invisible Woman. That cut was Blue Marvel. Is that the right cut? I have absolutely no idea. It could also be Human Torch or Red Hulk. We shall see after some testing. You can find more Doombots at twitch.tv/ you guessed it, more Doombots. This deck needs 2099, Mr. Fantastic, Fantastic Arm Thing. Torch and Marvel Boy are replaceable with Blue Marvel or Makari. Bob can be Sunspot. Red Hulk can be Magnus. Eric and Magnus Lencher, that is Magneto. This one had a 58% win rate at high infinite, as is. It's hard for me to imagine Invisible Woman, wherever she fits in the list, doesn't make it better. This is another point, though, where it's going to be hard to find the right things to do. We can go Invisible Woman on turn 3, into Doctor Doom on turn 4, into Fantasticar on turn 5, into Doom on turn 6. That is a perfectly valid play that should win a lot of games, right? Except all we're getting out of Invisible Woman in that scenario is an extra Doombot. Is that worth it? We're not playing a ton of end of turn stuff, right? It's just the original Doom. So, is Fantasticar worth it? That's what I'm worried about for this list. I think there's going to be times when we really want this, but I'm not sure how often it's going to be. I'm not sure we want this. All right, so turn one is so Zabu is here because sometimes you just want Doom early, right? Even with the threes here, you're just gonna want to get out Doom early. Squirrel Girl and Hydra Bob are both really powerful. Hydra Bob is buffed by Fantasticar. Squirrel Girl is here for Marvel Boy, especially if we can double Marvel Boy and it gets +6. That is like a ridiculously powerful play. Mr. Fantastic, end of turn play, best card in the game. I don't know how often I can keep saying that. Sorry. From there, we go to hydration to Human Torch. I almost said hydration, Robert. To Human Torch, who gets better with Fantasticar, mid with Invisible Woman still, but good with Fantasticar. We talked about Marvel Boy already. Again, largely here for Squirrel Girl, but buffing Zabu and Bob ain't bad. Plus, there's numerous locations that still work. From there, we talked about Invisible Woman already. Doom spreads power. Fantasticar buffs a decent amount of the power and gives us a way to win without the Doom. Thing gives us a kill, especially if we are filling everything with Doom and Doom bots. Doctor Doom is huge with Doctor Doom 2099, and Red Hulk gives us an extra big body. It's possible, very possible, that Red Hulk ends up being the card that we cut for Invisible Woman because Thing and Red Hulk do enough of the same thing for this list. This one already had a 58% win rate, and again, it's hard for me to imagine it got worse with the reveal of a new card. Turn 1 Zabu over Squirrel Girl over Bob. Turn 2 Fantastic over 3. Turn 3 Marvel Boy if no 2099 and Squirrel Girl over Invisible, which is equal to Torch. You're going to have to read the board and figure it out. If you're going to play some more end of turn stuff, play Invisible. If you're going to play Doom 2099 into Doom, play Torch. Turn 4 Doom 2099 over Fantasticar. Turn 5 Thing plus or Invisible Woman or Fantasticar. And then turn 6 Doom or Thing, win. It's awesome. I don't know if it works with Invisible Woman the way we want it to. She might be our backup plan. She might be our plan when we don't play Doom. And just like if you happen to get an extra Doom bot out of her, it's nice. We shall see. Before we go forward, please check out a stream. I should be streaming, guess what? Around tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Eastern in that general vicinity. So please stop by twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. Next up, just got an Italian message. I record this live on Twitch, by the way. I just got a message in pure Italian, and I don't understand it. So next up, if you want the Mr. Fantastic free giveaway, make sure you keep it here. I will eventually get to making my travel blog. It turns out that I am busy literally about 18 hours a day right now, but I will get to that damn travel blog at youtube.com/@PulseGlazer as soon as humanly possible. See you on stream later. Season pass question is just, you following, bro? All right, next up, based on Bynx. Bynx created this list earlier this season. It was very successful. At the end of last season as a Clea list. I figured Clea is a decent end of turn card, right? Clea is a decent end of turn card. Because she works really well. I'm trying to figure out what the hell that meant. Because she works really, really well with Marvel Boy, right? Marvel Boy wants Invisible Woman, and then everything ends up going together for this list. We ended up with a bunch of one drops, Squirrel Girl and Clea, who really, really benefit us from playing that Marvel Boy. We don't have anything expensive, so we can sort of fit Invisible Woman in as we want. And I think that this one has the potential for a lot of legs. Plays like Invisible Woman or Torch on turn 5. With that Havoc seem very strong. They're going to buff Thena. They're going to allow us to have this crazy powerful end game. We have twitch.tv/Bynx Plays if you are so inclined to check out the great Bynx. He's one of the Marvel Snap's biggest and best creators. This deck needs Thena, Marvel Boy, Invisible Woman, and Mr. Fantastic. Nico can be Bast or another good one, and Merlin can be Surge or Goose. All right, let's chat. Kitty triggers Thena multiple times. Merlin is our backup way to get that multiple Athena trigger. Clea gives us a bunch of really, really powerful cards just by existing with Marvel Boy on the board. Yes, that's the only way to really do anything with her. Does it matter? No, we have Merlin to do other things as required. We can use her for extra energy and so on. Nico gives us an extra buff, an extra way to copy some power cards like Sage, and is just generally great. Squirrel Girl is the card that you basically always run with Marvel Boy. Marvel Boy is here because getting +6 out of it is pretty damn good. From there, we have Havoc, again, the +8 with Invisible Woman, one of the better scalar cards in Marvel Snap. Thena gets the +3 power, again, same basic concept. Mr. Fantastic is the best card in the game, and Merlin, again, is those one-drops and gives us something to do with the extra one-drops when they don't work. Sage is a giant power endgame play. Torch is our early scaler in one lane. Marvel Boy is our wide early scaler, and then Invisible Woman should allow us to go way over the top in a real way. All right, so turn 1 Squirrel over Clea over Kitty. Turn 2 Merlin or Fantastic. Turn 3 Thena +1 over Marvel Boy over Torch. Turn 4, Marvel Boy, Torch, or Invisible Woman +1. Turn 5, one of those same threes plus Havoc. And then we want Sage, Torch, plus, and then we trigger Invisible Woman. So Marvel Boy is +3 every turn. So Invisible Woman triggers an extra +3. Havoc is an extra +4. Theme is an extra +3. That's a potential +10. I think that this is a fairly obvious home for the card, even if we are short one trigger that I really want. There's got to be one trigger that we're seeing that just doesn't really exist yet for this card. Eventually we'll get there and Invisible Woman will break, even if it is not immediate. If you're interested in checking out some gameplay for this and my current schedule doesn't work out for you, please check out the stream team, where today is Tuesday and Prashant should be streaming actually about noon, so a little before the card. Oh, wait, noon has happened. You're going to have to come check out tomorrow for Gaming Flash X at 9 or 10 p.m. Eastern. Time zones are funky when you move around the world, friends. Time zones get funky. Our final deck of the day is the End of Evo, and I can't figure out how to do this exactly. I can't play Human Torch, Cyclops, and Invisible Woman, right? Because if I play Invisible Woman, and I want to skip energy, that's got to be on turn 4. And then I have to play Fantasticar to skip energy on turn 5. Now, when am I playing Thing? How am I feeling for Invisible Woman? How am I feeling for Torch? I can get the Cyclops triggers. I don't know. Something feels off about this. I'm not sure quite where we are. This might need some magic or Hope Sunrimer shenanigans. And at that point, I'm not sure. But this deck has been almost there all season, and we've been waiting for this card for it. So let us see. You can find me at twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. I have no idea who made the original of this, but I'm going to take credit for this random ass version. This deck needs Mr. Fantastic, Fantasticar, Evo, and Torch. The Thing can be, Thing for steps can be The Thing. It could also be She-Hulk. Invisible Woman. Yes, Invisible Woman for steps can be Makari. Bruce can be Surge. Armor, 1-drops, and you can run even some Marvel Boy if you were so inclined. Sunspot gets reasonably big in its end of turn. Misty buffs things in his end of turn. Bruce Banner's end of turn gets an extra shot at turning into Hulk. Mr. Fantastic is end of turn and the best card in the game. Surge gives us extra energy, helping us with the aforementioned problem. Torch gets reasonably big. Torch and Cyclops are your big 3-drops. They're both one lane, which isn't ideal for you, but you're fine. Then we have Invisible Woman, who can I mean, look, is she worth it in this deck? I'm not 100% sure, to be perfectly honest. In those other decks, she's giving like 10 power, right? Here, I have to skip energy. I'll get an extra 1 from Misty, unless I get the Hulk, right? I'll get an extra 2 from Thing, and I'll get an extra 1 from Torch, maybe an extra 2 from Cyclops, and now we're getting 6 power. Do I care? I don't think I care. All right, Fantasticar is, however, a big buff. Evo is whatever you need to for Hulk, and then the other end of turds. The Thing is big, and the Hulk is big, and that's why they're here. Thing is a lane winner, and so is the Hulk. Turn 1, Misty. Misty over Sunspot. Turn 2, Fantastic over Surge over Bruce. Turn 3, Torch, Cyclops, or Invisible Woman over Bruce. Turn 4, if energy skip needed, then you play a 3. If not, you can just drop Fantasticar. Turn 5, same thing. If you need to skip energy, play Fantasticar. If not, you're going to drop the Thing. This is your last chance for both the Fantasticar and the Invisible Woman. And after that, we go with Thing or Red Hulk. I am worried about this, even with this potential power of triggering the car Invisible Woman. I think that Invisible Woman probably doesn't do enough here, and does, by being an extra 3 that we have to find time to play before the last turn, does really screw up our curve in a way that I'm worried about. Unless, however, she turns out to, and you'll know this before I will, because this is going to release in the middle of the night. So unless this will be really great unless that Invisible is able to double the end of game ability of Thing and Torch. That'll change things, and all of a sudden this deck will be incredible. Question of the day is very simple. B-Rogue asked my thoughts on Fantastic Four First Steps. I thought the movie was damn near perfect. It felt very Fantastic Four. It felt very comic book. Almost everything about it was great. I would have liked to see the Thing have a bit more of a plot. They attempted to give him one, but he's just sort of there, while I feel like every other member of the cast had a real actual central to the plot story. So I would like to see a little bit more from the Thing, one of my favorite characters. Outside of that, I think the movie was absolutely brilliant. Probably even at this point, a top 10 Marvel movie, although I am exceedingly biased as a ridiculously huge Fantastic Four fan. That's it. We should have our Patreon thanks here, but this is from the other slideshow where I don't have that. So instead, I'm just going to say thank you for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you back tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, I will have either a special video about a new game I'm in love with, or I will have some more Grand Arena decks. Make sure you're here, ring that notification bell, and don't miss it. See you then. Peace.